Hello everyone. In this episode we are going to be reviewing Fear Columbus in, you guessed it, Columbus, Ohio. This is a haunt we've been going to pretty much every year. We weren't going to go this year, but then we saw that they posted that they were basically having 2 completely new themes and having 3 attractions this year as opposed to 2. So we decided to check them out. With that being said, we hope you enjoy this episode of Haunt Talk. Pulling up to this place is like pulling up to like a giant block party. And the noise level is instantly apparent just from when you like walk into like the queue line. Everything at this place is turned to an 11 volume wise, and that is including in the outside. It just feels like you're at a concert, and it's just like music videos and music playing. I mean, they even have like drones flying above you to like capture like images of the people in the line and stuff. It's pretty wild. They do have some actors and stuff out in the queue, but like not a ton, so we'll talk about it more in value, but I'd probably recommend getting a fast pass for this place. And then when you get inside, the pre-queue for that is absolutely nuts. But yeah, the place definitely has a vibe. This is like very much just like this like party rock kind of like vibe that is unique to it, I would say. I've not been to another haunted house that has like this type of vibe to it.
No.
Like before you enter, at least, I mean.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever like felt the way I feel like when we get into that queue area.
Yeah, they do a good job at hyping you up, I would say.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely, you're going to go in and you're going to have fun because you're having fun outside, so.
Yeah. But yes, we're going to go ahead and get into the review now, which as always means we must refer to the
Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead!
We're going to start with sets and props. So the first thing, of course, is when you go inside the facade of the first house, which they've changed the theme of this. It used to be the summoning, which was like, I don't really even know what the summoning theme 100% was, like to describe it to you. I get the aesthetic of it, but I don't know if I could describe to you what it was.
From what I remember, it was like basically a bunch of like spiritualists summon.
I liked it.
Spirits and stuff like that in this house, and they basically ran amok. Right.
Very witchy, very occulty. Really liked it. This one is like, it's supposed to be like someone's using, what do you say? It's like a cadaver from a funeral home as vessels of dark magic. It attempts to reanimate his lost lover's soul. So basically someone's tried to reanimate someone, and it's invited all these spirits into this like funeral home. I do like it. I like the summoning better though. And I will say that. And I've seen other people comment on our other videos already telling us that, like, hey, and I do agree. Now again, I do like it. I don't think it's bad. Mm-hmm. But I did just like the aesthetics of the summoning better. Like, there's some scenes that upset me a little bit. Like, the summoning had this really cool scene where you walk in and it's like this stage and there's like this demon woman singing. That stage is still there, but there's just a candle, like candles plopped on it now. Yeah. And it's like knowing what it was and all it is now, I'm just kind of like, okay. And so many of the scenes are the exact same. They've just redecorated them a little bit. And I was kind of hoping for a little bit more than that, more than just a redecoration.
Yes. And I had actually seen a video of them doing a new scene that they had like completely redone. And it was like this really cool cave scene and stuff like that. And when we got in there, you could barely see it. It was just so filled with fog, and I was like, I want to see the cave. I want to see what you guys did.
Yeah, it was a little too foggy in there.
I was kind of disappointed with that.
And I think was there a puppet in the cave? Did anything happen in the cave? Okay, there was.
There was like a monster puppet,
They did have like a bazillion of these like mannequin things, which I think were like supposed to be like these spirits. They like to put them around corners, and they would slightly just jut out at you and kind of hit you sometimes, and they would startle you. I think they might have been overused a little bit, but I think they were effective. Then you do get into the city section, I guess.
Yeah.
And so last year it used to have, so it was a city that led into an asylum. Last year they changed the asylum into a high school, and now this year the theme is the same, but it's a Halloween party throughout the city and the high school.
Yeah, so the high school gets, basically they're having this Halloween party, and the high school gets turned into a haunted house.
Yeah.
For charity or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it was for the Honors Against Hate thing. So it's kind
Yeah.
of weird. It's very meta, because Honors Against Hate is a real thing.
Yes.
And obviously it's like, it's a high school. So the theme is a high school that's having a haunted house, and you're in a haunted house.
Yeah.
So it's kind of kitschy. I like this. I like the old school Halloween decorations. You know, we're a sucker for that. I mean, look at our freaking set. We love that kind of stuff. So I really did like that. Again, they didn't do a lot of changes to this outside of adding those decorations, but this is still one of my favorite scenes in a haunted house, because again, you enter through, I don't know, it's like a stage show, which just is maybe why they got rid of the stage type thing in the summoning, because there was something similar to it in this.
Yeah, so you kind of enter, like, which is weird because it's supposed to be a high school, but you enter in a bar.
Well, this part's not the high school. Like that,
Yeah.
you enter through it's like through the bar, it goes to the city, then you go to the high school.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Because like the main part is a high school that you're in, but you're also in the city that connects to the high school. So that's neat. Not much has changed, like, again, the layout and stuff like that wise. They've just added the decorations and stuff like that, at least as far as I can tell. I do like this theme better than what it used to be a couple years ago as the asylum. So I like that, but again, not much has changed there. Now, what has changed a lot is this used to just be one big final attraction. Like, I would say the second attraction, which always just used to be this city and whatever they used to call it, was always like twice the length of the summoning. So now they have it as 3 attractions, which makes more sense. Instead of having like one 8-minute attraction and one like 15, 16-minute long attraction, it's like 3, I don't know, like 3 5 to 8 minute long attraction type of things. I think, because I think total was like 25 minutes or something.
25 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so whatever that is divided by 3, each one's close to about the same. So that makes sense. So now after you leave like I don't know, it's like a shop that you leave. You used to just, you used to kind of go around and there was like this car in a garage or someone was jumping on.
Yeah.
Is now like a little queue line to lead you into the final one, which is the Feast of Freaks. Oddballs Feast of Freaks. Now this I actually did like quite a bit. I thought this was Carnival done very well, because it's not just like circus clowns, like traditional neon bright colors. It's more of like gritty, grimy, more realistic, messed up feeling.
Carnies.
Yeah, so I really liked this. There's just some unique scenes. There was like a really cool theater scene.
Yeah.
In it that
I
liked.
I loved that theater
That was a
scene.
really neat
my
scene.
gosh. Like, I walked in and I actually went, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I did like that. And I got a good scare in there, too, because I did not expect anything to happen. And, like, something came out, and I was like, okay. Because I was just so in awe of the theater, And I kind of liked how they kind of incorporated a little bit of, like, their living quarters, which I always am liking that kind of stuff. And a little behind the scenes, like, with, like, makeup rooms and things like that. That had a couple of good scares in there, which I thought were really good.
Yeah. So, we really liked sets and props. Again, with the loudness, the noise level, I think it is excessive.
Yeah. If I can feel the music, like, in my chest, it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before. I know one of the reasons they do it is just so that way you can't hear the scene that's right by the next wall. You can't hear the scares, because even the scares are loud, because they use a lot of boot pedals in this place. But man, I really believe it needs to be turned down a little bit. Like, I shouldn't have, like, my ears shouldn't ring for like 5 hours after. Like, they literally feel numb. It's just like, it's a little bit much. Like, it is what it is. But just know that going in, if you have super sensitive ears, you might want to bring like earplugs or something.
Yeah.
It's equivalent of like listening to a concert. So if that doesn't bother you, you'll be fine. But so yeah, sets and props, we did give them a 9. A little bit less just because we don't like the first one as much. And yeah, that's the main thing, I think, is like the first one just kind of, I'm not the biggest fan of the re-theme. Again, still good. I don't want to sound like it's bad. If you never saw the first one, you'll be like, oh, this is amazing. What are you talking about? But I just think if you did the summoning, you might not like this one as much.
Yeah, I forgot to mention they used a lot of like screens and had that had like ghosts on it, like those atmospherics, I think it's called. Where they have like these projection kind of screens and stuff like that. And they had a lot of those around, and I don't remember those being there before, and it just kind of took me out of it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those either, because when things are just so obvious screens, it's the same reason that people dock Universal rides so much. At least, like the mid-2000 type rides they were building. I don't know. It just doesn't do much. Like, once in a while, they're okay, but yeah, I don't know. I much prefer, like, the physical sets and props.
Yes.
So now moving on to actors. This was one of the lightest we've seen them on actors, I will say. Mm-hmm. Also, it was a little disappointing because I was at the back of the group and I got maybe 2 scares through the whole attraction. The people in front, our friends that went with us, led through the most because they had never been there before, so we let them, both lead. It was just kind of upsetting to see them not spacing out the scares a little bit more, always hitting the people in the front, like pretty much consistently.
Yes. Yeah.
This haunt does use, again, boot pedals mainly for their scares. Very few roaming actors. And they have a lot of blocking between scenes. So it's very, very inspired by Halloween Horror Nights. Mm-hmm. If you've been to a Halloween Horror Nights house, you understand exactly how this house goes. Every room is like a small, and there's a boot pedal with a big boom noise, and like someone just goes like this at you type of scare.
Yeah.
And since there's so much blocking, typically you would be able to not miss the scares as much.
Yeah.
But with the way they were timed for me, just like at Horror Nights houses sometimes, I didn't get like many of the scares.
Yeah. I do want to shout out to the one guy that was in the it was the shop, the like machine shop that was right before the transition into the Feast of Freaks. We kind of got stuck there for a little bit, and so the line didn't really move very much, and he was in there and he was going into every little corner that he was supposed to hide in and stuff and trying to scare people, because there was like multiple places he could pop out at and stuff like that, and I give him props for that, because he was trying to entertain people while we were just kind of stuck in this little like stall that we were in. So I give props to that guy. He was doing a good job.
Yeah. And again, the ones that were there did really good. Again, they can't really interact with you much because of the loudness of this haunt. There's no way you would ever really be able to hear them.
Yeah.
So the ones that are roaming are more going to do like the things in your face. And I will say they are very good at getting close to you and making you think they're going to hit you.
Yes.
Very good at that.
Oh my gosh.
We also like that they have like scares coming from above and below and like levels to kind of, you don't know, where to come from. Like the couple that did like kind of get me were ones where like I just wasn't expecting, because there might be someone like laying up here that reaches down and that kind of startled me. I will say, Stevie, someone got my cousin that went with us really good. There's just this wall that literally opens.
Yes.
And someone came flying out of it. And he literally leaped into the air.
It was like 2 feet
It was fun
in
to watch.
the air. It was so great. That always makes me like so happy when I get to see a scare like that. Because he literally just flew into the air.
And sometimes with as many haunted houses me and Kim go, sometimes it's fun just to kind of be in the back and just watch other people get scared.
Yep.
And I mean, of course, the makeup and all that stuff is phenomenal on them. The production value for this place is always very, very good. The main thing is there was just a decent amount of dead space this time.
Yeah.
And the pacing of the scares wasn't great for us, but we still think actors overall are really, really good. We gave them an 8.
Yes. So that moves on to scare factor. Like we mentioned before, it is very loud, kind of overwhelming, just because of how loud it is. If you're not a fan of strobe lights and any other kind of special effects, this is not the place for you. Yeah. I do remember there is one room that really got me that was kind of freaky. It was in the Dearly Departed. And what I think it was is what I think is that the character was trying to take pictures of spirits.
Oh, my God.
It was supposed to be a camera. And you know that weird like camera noise that and then flash. And then you get and flash, and it just kept doing it. So your eyes would like get adjusted to the dark, and then this big flash would flash in front of you, and your eyes would be like, oh, what happened? It was so bad. I think at one point, you closed your eyes, because I think I felt you grab me.
I didn't. Well, I don't know if I closed my eyes. I had to cover my ears because the loudness of the noise. Oh my gosh! It was just like giving me an instant headache. I don't think anyone could work in that room without earplugs in. Just the pitch of that noise.
Yeah.
I forgot about that room. That was a nightmare. Yeah. Because one of the things I actually said to our friends that went with us is I'm like, now this isn't like the scariest haunted house as far as like jump scares go, but it is probably one of the most intense haunted house as far as special effects and like noises go.
Yeah.
It is so overwhelming. If you have like that thing like where you kind of like you get like sensory overload really easily, like that kind of thing, this is going to be an absolute nightmare for you, and you're going to want to just escape because it is overbearing. Even in the queue lines inside of this place, it's just lights and sounds and just bombasticness, which again can be a great thing, but I'm just like letting you know that this house is very intense in that way. Is it scary or not? Can be if you have anxiety for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's effective in that way, but again, might not be for everyone. And if you're like, I've been to haunted houses before, it's not that loud. Fear Columbus is a someone shared a meme, someone that works there actually that I'm friends with on Facebook.
I love that meme.
And it was like just like a scale of like things that are like loud, and I think that was like, you know, like jet engines, and then it's just like Fear Columbus on top of that. And I'm like, yeah, that's very true.
I saved it to my phone because I thought it was so funny.
But yeah, scare factor, we gave it a 7. Mainly just a little bit less just because we didn't get many scares like from actors. But again, the house is very overbearing and intense. So if that's kind of what you're looking for, is just sensory overload, this place has got you covered in that regards for scare factor. So moving on to value, I will say this place is pretty good value. Now, the last couple weeks of October, they're open like almost every day. It ranges from $19.99 to $29.99. A fast pass is $15 more. You spend that $15. You spend it. You don't even think about it. You click it. I would say, like, we probably waited 20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes. We probably would have waited 2 hours, if not more.
Easily.
Spend that $15. It is so worth it. They also have an immediate access. It's normally 25 more. These do range the 15 and 25. Sometimes it's a little bit more than that, but that just kind of seems like that's the average. It takes about 25 minutes to get through. So a pretty decently long haunted house. We gave value a 9, especially if you go and it's only $20. I mean, this is a world-class haunt, you know. The sets and props and everything is just amazing. Like, if you haven't been there, you absolutely have to go. And I mean, if you're going for like the Haunted Hoochie or even Blood Prison, like we did this particular night, which is only an hour away, you definitely should check this one out. It's definitely one that you don't want to miss. It's famous for a reason. But that brings us to our overall score, which we're giving an 8.5. One of the lower rated years, still 100% worth going, but again, for the reasons we stated, it was just wasn't our favorite year we've went. So I'm kind of hoping that in years to come, they kind of refine the Dearly Departed and maybe add a little bit more to it and stuff like that. Yeah, and just kind of refine a little bit of it and stuff. But yeah, have you been this year? What did you think? Maybe you liked it even more than the year past. You know, and again, it's all just an opinion. So if you like the new theme of the first one more than us, I mean, that's fine. You know, don't get all crazy in the comments. It's just we happen to like that old theme more than this theme. But make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel, and most importantly, ringing that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We still have multiple reviews left, and of course, we'll be working on our Halloween yard haunts video here, which should be hopefully be released by Halloween. That one's always so hard because we film it over the weekend before Halloween, and then trying to get it up by Halloween, it's like an hour-long video that I have like 4 days to put together. So we'll see if it gets out by Halloween. We'll see. I'll do my best. But yes, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.